What if I told you that there is one writer who could transport you to the dystopian world, make you excavate deep feminist struggles, and also make you question your reality, all in a single career of hers? Well, that's Margaret Atwood for you. She is a two-time Booker Prize winner, known for her chilling novel The Handmaid's Tale, which has sparked global conversations on gender, power, and oppression. In this video, I'm going to unpack her literary journey, discuss some of the most important novels of Margaret Atwood, and break down some of the key themes that make her writing so unforgettable. Plus, if you are preparing for your UGC NET English exam, then I'll also uncover the previous year questions related to Atwood. So, stick around until the end of this video because you'll not only understand Atwood's impact on literature, but also know how to go about with your exam preparation. Speaking of Margaret Atwood, we all know that she is a prominent Canadian novelist and a poet. But apart from that, she is also a recipient of not just one Booker Prize, but two Booker Prizes. And apart from that, a recipient of a plethora of awards and honors like Franz Kafka Prize, Princess of Asturias Awards, Penn Center Lifetime Achievement Awards, and whatnot. When you look at her novels, right, most of her novels, they deal with the themes of gender and identity. They talk about how power relations, they sort of percolate into these relationships, how language is used to exert power, how language is used to showcase the hidden power structures. All of these themes help us, the readers, in understanding and critically understanding the world around us. Therefore, Margaret Atwood becomes one of the most prominent writers, contemporary writers today. One of the most interesting facts about Margaret Atwood is that she wrote her first novel at the age of 7, at just the age of 7. It was a novel about an ant named Annie. Obviously, she did not complete it, but this was included to help you understand that she was inclined towards writing and she had these literary inclinations at a very young age. In this video, we are going to discuss three of her most important novels, not just in terms of the themes and the plot that she has talked about, but also in terms of UGC NET English exam. These three works are frequently asked in UGC NET English exam. These three works are, first, her debut novel, The Edible Women, that was published in 1969. Second, Surfacing, that was published in 1972. And finally, the most prominent, the most critically acclaimed novel of Margaret Atwood, The Handmaid's Tale, that was published in 1985. All three works have one thing in common, and that is the concept of women's identity, right? The concept of women's gender and how they come to terms with that in relation to the society around them. Right? So I believe it would be very interesting to discuss all these three novels in detail now in the video. Speaking of The Edible Women, it surrounds this protagonist, the college graduate called as Marian McAlpin. On the surface level, the story feels quite simple, that Marian is caught in this love triangle of sorts, wherein she is engaged to her boyfriend Peter, but when another guy, a second guy, walked into her life called as Duncan, everything just turned topsy-turvy. Right? So towards the end, she refuses to marry Peter. She is in a physical relationship with Duncan, and everything turns very chaotic towards the end. So that's just the surface level story. But when you read it deeper, right, when you understand the nuances of this novel, you will realize that it is more about Marian questioning her position, her place in society. So what are these nuances? First of all, she refuses to eat non-veg, and then finally she refuses to eat anything at all. It's only towards the end that she is represented eating a doll-shaped, a women-shaped cake. And that takes us back to the title, which is The Edible Women. I mean, you must be questioning as to why it is called as The Edible Women. but it's more about how women have been objectified in society, how women become the victims of the consumer culture, right? So this novel, The Edible Women, becomes a critique of consumerism. And one of the most important things about The Edible Women is that it shares a lot of similarities with Han Kang's The Vegetarian, the novel which received the Nobel Prize in Literature in 2024. Even The Vegetarian is talking about this South Korean woman who refuses to eat non-veg all of a sudden. Similar to The Edible Women, where Marianne was caught between Peter and Duncan, and there comes a turning point in her life as well, wherein she stops consuming non-veg. She stops consuming anything after a certain point, right? So it has a lot of similarities and intertextuality with The Edible Women. And when you're talking about Margaret Atwood's ideas on this particular work, she did not consider it to be a feminist work per se. Rather, she called it a work of social realism. Now, this was about The Edible Women. Let's focus upon the next novel, which is Surfacing. Talking about Surfacing, it was her second novel that was published in 1972. It was the novel that brought Margaret Atwood the international fame and acclaim. The story of this novel is quite simple, yet it's very intricate and psychological. It's about this unnamed female protagonist who is in search of her missing father. So she and a bunch of her friends, they travel to this island where her father just mysteriously disappeared. She comes across certain documents, certain drawings, which help her in understanding where her father was present, right? The last location where her father was. And when she's in search of her father to these specific locations, she comes across a dead child. And the presence of this dead child, it sort of unravels, unearths, uncovers the repressed memories of her past, of her relationship with her ex-husband as well as her child. Here, you see this watershed moment, this turning point in the life of this unnamed female protagonist, wherein she starts to live the life of a beast. She starts to eat the wild plants, she starts to sleep outside in the nights, and she has completely immersed herself in the Canadian wilderness. She believes that she would be able to revive her dead parents, and at the same time that she is pregnant with the divine child, right? So this is how the memories play a role in Margaret Atwood's works, right? How the past is so dangerous for the characters like these. And finally, one of the most important novels of Margaret Atwood, one of the most critically acclaimed and the most famous, is The Handmaid's Tale. According to her, this work is to be classified under the genre of speculative fiction and not science fiction. Although we use these terms, that is science fiction and speculative fiction, quite interchangeably, Atwood differentiates between these two. She clarifies the difference as that science fiction talks about things that we as humans cannot achieve. It's impossible to achieve the things that are represented in science fiction. Speculative fiction, on the other hand, is talking about things that are not altogether impossible. Yes, they do seem far-fetched. Yes, they do seem exaggerated up to a certain point, but they have certain means employed that are present at hand with us. So based upon this classification, Margaret Atwood categorizes The Handmaid's Tale under speculative fiction. The story is quite dystopian. Okay, it is set in near future New England in a very patriarchal and a totalitarian setting. Totalitarianism or totalitarian state is a form of a political system and a form of a government that completely diminishes any kind of opposition in terms of political parties, any kind of external viewpoints, opinions. any kind of groups, individuals, apart from their own totalitarian government. So that is totalitarianism, and that's what we see happening in this particular novel as well. Now, the protagonist in this novel is Offred, and she is one of the handmaids. Who are the handmaids? Handmaids were one of the classes of women in this particular society who were forced to reproduce children for the commanders. Commanders were basically the guardians, the ruling class of this particular state. And this state was called as the Republic of Gilead. The other classes of women in this Republic of Gilead were, first of all, the chaste, childless wives of the commanders, the housekeeping Marthas, and definitely the handmaids. Now, the entire story is very dystopic in that sense that Offred is trying to, have a child for this commander, but she's not able to conceive. And towards the end of this story, she is taken to a different place. She has a very uncertain fate. When you look at the entire summary, or when you look at and understand the plot of it, it is talking about women's agency and individuality and how they've been stripped off of it in this particular Republic of Gilead. One of the most interesting things that I find about The Handmaid's Tale is the title itself. It's very, very similar to the titles and the stories of the Canterbury Tales, don't you think? Like, we have the Monk's Tale, we have the Prioress's Tale, we have the Clerk's Tale. Similarly, we have The Handmaid's Tale. Having said that, these are the three of the most important novels of Margaret Atwood that are frequently asked in UGC NET English exam. Apart from these three novels, there are so many other works of Margaret Atwood that are again very important to understand. So, here's a list of all the novels that you have to take into consideration when it comes to Margaret Atwood. All these works, they are arranged in a chronological order, and out of all these works we have discussed in this video The Edible Women, Surfacing, and The Handmaid's Tale. But apart from these three, you also need to understand Lady Oracle, Cat's Eye, Elias Grace, Hag's Seat, and Testaments, because these are also very, very important from UGC NET perspective. Here's an interesting fact about Testaments. Testaments, published in 2019, is actually a sequel to The Handmaid's Tale. Well, having said that, now let's move on and discuss some of the most important PYQs related to Margaret Atwood, some of the most important questions and works that frequently appear in UGC NET English exam. So this question was asked in UGC NET English exam 2022. It was related to the chronology of Margaret Atwood's works. So the question is that choose the right chronological sequence of publication of the following novels by Margaret Atwood. The options are Lady Oracle, The Blind Assassin, The Handmaid's Tale, The Testaments, and Elias Grace. Go back to the list that I provided to you earlier in this video, and based upon that, find out the correct chronology. Lady Oracle becomes the first because it was published in 1976, followed by The Handmaid's Tale, published in 1985, followed by Elias Grace in 1996, after which you have The Blind Assassin in 2000, and finally Testaments in 2019. The next question was asked in 2023 itself. Again, a very simple question related to the works of Margaret Atwood. It is, which of the following is not written by Margaret Atwood? The options are The Edible Women, The Stone Angel, Surfacing, The Handmaid's Tale. We have already discussed The Edible Women, Surfacing, and The Handmaid's Tale in this video itself. The Stone Angel is the correct answer for this particular question. And this question was also asked in UGC NET English exam 2023. It is match the following question, wherein a list is provided to you of the characters, and in front of that you have another list of the novels. So you just have to match the characters with the respected novels. The options are given to you of the characters as Seth, Okonkwo, Offred, Winston Smith. As discussed in this video, we have already known that Offred appears and is the protagonist of The Handmaid's Tale. Now, you are going to tell me that Who are the other characters and in which novel do they appear? Please let me know in the comments section below. Now, this was about Margaret Atwood and her works, which are extremely significant from UGC NET perspective as far as world literature is concerned. Apart from Margaret Atwood, I've also created various episodes on Kazuo Ishiguro, Patrick White, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, who are also frequently asked in UGC NET English exam. So, please do check this playlist out because this will help you in tackling the world literature section of UGC NET English exam very promptly and easily. But apart from this world literature, if you are more keen and if you want to understand more about the history of British English literature, Indian English literature and literary theories in a very detailed and comprehensive manner for your UGC NET English exam, then you can attend my live classes on these areas. In these live classes, I am providing detailed sessions on each and every literary period, followed by a comprehensive analysis of the works of each and every author. These sessions will help you in understanding about the history of British English literature, literary theories, and Indian English literature, whether you are from a literature background or you're not from a literature background. The best part about these sessions is that these are live one-on-one sessions, which means that I can provide you personalized guidance tailored to your needs, requirements, and schedule, trying to fill the possible gaps in your UGC NET English exam preparation. If you want to know more about the courses I offer, the sessions I take, and the notes I provide, feel free to check out my TopMate page. It's topmate.io/Riya Gandhi. I've shared the link in the description box below, so don't forget to check it out. Well, this was it about Margaret Atwood and her most important works that are frequently asked in UGC NET English exam. If you have any questions, any doubts, or anything to say, please mention it in the comment section below and I'll be very happy to help. If you found this video informative and helpful, please like it and share it with other UGC NET English aspirants as well. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, so that you don't miss any videos that I will be uploading in this world literature lecture series for UGC NET English exam. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I'll see you in the next episode.